Lockdowns. Fauci loves them, big government loves them, and therefore I'm inclined to love them as well. In order to demonstrate to Big Brother how thankful I am for having my life controlled, I decided to make this video. And I'm going to show you some good news about lockdowns and how good the government's responses have been. Now, some of you may be all like, ooh, but I want my freedom. Ooh, but I know what's best for me. Wrong. No, you don't. Government knows what's best for you and me. And if you watch till the end, I'll show you why. Meh. From BBC News, Austria introduces lockdowns for unvaccinated. Good. Let's discriminate more. I mean, after all, it's all their fault. About 2 million people who have not been fully vaccinated against the virus have been placed in lockdown in Austria. 2 million deplorables. If they don't listen to what the government has to say, they must stay indoors. Good. Good for Austria. Ah, Germany. Germany locks down unvaccinated people as leaders plan to make shots compulsory. Okay, I like this. Wait a second. Germany and Austria discriminating and scapegoating a group of people for their beliefs? What does this remind me of? Probably nothing. What am I thinking about? CNN, BBC, so you know this is legitimate. And by the way, they want to make the shots compulsory. Anyone ever heard of the Nuremberg Code? Me neither. Who cares? Let's move on to well, why tell you when we can listen together.
Selfishness is okay when it comes to medical interventions.
What do you mean by that?
We have something called the Nuremberg Code, which grew out of the war crimes trials at the end of the Second World War. And it established the principle of free, prior and informed consent for all medical interventions or experiments. It means that if you're going to take a medical...
Don't listen to these guys talking about freedom and consent. What a Nazi.
...or have some kind of procedure or participate in a trial, you must give your free, prior and informed consent. You can't be coerced. So you're allowed to be selfish when you decide what goes into your body. That is the principle of bodily autonomy. So that's a really important principle that I think we have to maintain. Beyond that, when it comes to the specifics of the COVID vaccine, we have to remember that this is a disease which mostly affects older people.
Well, we don't need to listen to this. All we need to know is that this guy is a disgusting anti-vaxxer. Who cares about the Nuremberg Code, guy? Who cares about forcing people into medical treatments that they don't want? It's for the greater good, right? But let's move on. Because lockdowns come with consequences, I think. From the Washington Post, 100,000 Americans died of drug overdoses in 12 months during the pandemic. A new record. It can't be related to the lockdowns, though. There's no way. Lockdowns are good for our health. Right? Right? That's what Fauci said. Yeah, this is right-wing propaganda from the Washington Post. Is it a leftist publication? Yes, but it's still right-wing propaganda because there's no correlation between lockdowns and overdoses. It doesn't matter that we broke a record this year and we were also locked down. No. Stop watching. Stop looking. Nothing here. Let's move on. Euronews. Hidden cost of COVID. How millions of Europeans with cancer are being impacted by the pandemic. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, of course, but I will read you the highlighted part because I highlighted it for a reason. The aggregated data, compiled from 200 sources in 17 European countries, initially indicates that an estimated 100 million screening tests, cancer screening tests, were not performed, while up to half of all cancer patients were affected by treatment delays. What's more, as many as 1 million Europeans could be living with undiagnosed cancer because lockdowns. But you know, if you ask me, this is also right-wing propaganda because lockdowns are good for our health. They're good for every aspect of our health. Go outside, get vitamin D, eat healthy and exercise. Wrong. Wrong. Stay indoors and get the Fauci ouchie. Get the booster and then the next booster and then the one after that. Don't be selfish. Let's go to Twitter. Back to Twitter. Because the Australians, they're following the lead from the Austrians and the Germans. And if you ask me, they're on the right path.
Response in these communities, immediately implementing a hard lockdown. That means residents of Minjari and Rockall no longer have the 5 reasons to leave their home. They can only leave for medical treatment in an emergency or if required by law.
Medical treatment? I say that's way too much freedom. If you need medical treatment, maybe the government can come to you, but you stay locked down.
It's highly likely that more residents will be transferred to Howard Springs today, either as positive cases or close contacts. We've already identified 38 close contacts in Binjari, and that number will go up. Those 38 are being transferred now. I contacted the Prime Minister last night.
In short, the military has been deployed to gather those who have tested positive for the virus, but also those who are possible contacts. If you ask me, that's proper precaution. I wish the leadership here would follow suit. But wait, there's more. 3 men have climbed the barbed wire fence to escape the voluntary quarantine camp.
Good morning. We start with breaking news out of Darwin, where 3 people have escaped from the Howard Springs COVID quarantine facility. Talia Savas.
Wait a second. Escaped? Can you escape a voluntary facility? Something's not adding up. More right-wing propaganda, maybe? Let's listen.
There for us. Talia, good morning. There's a search underway right now.
Yes, that's right, Davina. Good morning to you. We've been told the trio scaled the fence in the early hours of this morning. Police receiving reports around 4:40 a.m. Now, major police checkpoints have been set up around Howard Springs for the past several hours. As you can see in these pictures, they've been conducting thorough searches in car boots, checking vehicle registrations, cars.
We gotta find the inmates. Gotta find the inmates, fucking cunt. Sorry, I can't do the accent, but yeah. We gotta find the inmates that escaped the voluntary facility. Come on, lawbreakers. It's not good. Maybe we should up the punishment. But my friends, it doesn't stop here. Because thankfully, even though the airwaves are dominated by right-wing conspiracy theorists, we have some good, educated, moral, leftist voices who are speaking out for what's right. So let's listen to some very not crazy individuals.
We've tried the education, we've tried the carrot, we now move to the stick. If it takes time now, the time to find people, great. Let's start. Let's never go with €100, make it £100, right? And it starts, and I tell you what, it's not 60 above, let's make it 40 and above, starting on Monday.
Make it 30.
Now, if we come round, knock on the...
Make it 20, make it 5 years old. 5 years old and above, if you haven't gotten the Fauci ouchie, you get fined. Again, sorry for the accents.
And you can show on your phone, or you've got a letter or something, you've got an appointment, that's fine. But if you willfully oppose now, you're 40 and above, £100 fine in December, £100 fine in January, £200 in February, £300 in March. By the end of the year, you'll be spending about £1,000, and that might...
I don't think that goes far enough, frankly. I think if you don't get the Fauci out, you got to be rounded up. Because you're a danger to society. We've got to put you in the voluntary camps. But wait, my friends. Oh, by the way. Sorry about that. Phone call interrupted me. Anyway, some people are claiming these are bad concentration camps. But as I told you before, they're voluntary. As you can see here, as this person who does not, promote leftist propaganda says. LOL, just uncovered that there's a Howard Springs hashtag on Instagram. It's full of hot babes posting at what Timcast calls a concentration camp. She's referring to Tim Pool, who is talking about the Howard Springs voluntary facility, where if you don't want to be there anymore, you are an escapee, where the police search for you in the boots of cars, trunks of cars. But voluntary hot babes. I wish I could go to the spring facility. But, it's not all Europe, Australia, Austria, Germany, BBC. It's not just that. We also have sane individuals here in America. Let's take a listen.
Lord knows what happened if you didn't partake. But back then, anyone who refused to get vaccinated would get ratted out immediately because we knew that person could hurt other people. The Commonweal was a Commonweal. Now we're engaged in a similar struggle with COVID, and Eisenhower would be aghast. We have immunocompromised people who are incubators for every variant to come, walking around lawfully unvaccinated? That's psychotic. We have companies that have tried hard to get people vaccinated and now backing down. We have governors who want to be president by grandstanding on a foolish states' right issue, the right to get sick and get other people sick.
Yeah, who cares about rights? Are you kidding me? It's not about freedoms or rights. We gotta compare this to smallpox because it's just as deadly. It's just as bad. We gotta compare it to the smallpox, okay? So if you didn't get vaccinated then, we told on you. And now? Well, let's listen to what he has to say.
So it's time to admit that we have to go to war against COVID. Require vaccination universally. Have the military run it. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you better be ready to prove your conscientious objector status in court. And even then, you need to help in the war effort by staying home until we finally beat this thing.
Okay. So what this very sane individual is proposing is that vaccines are mandated by the, enforced by the military. And if you say no, then you're going to stay inside. And if not in your homes, in prison. And that's correct. And that's a good, it's a good thought. It's a good opinion. I'm with you, Kramer, because you and I, we're not crazy at all. Now, before we end this wonderful thank you trivia video to Big Brother, let's listen to some good songs. Or a good one and a bad one. Well, this is the bad one. Let's listen to the good one first.
To get a new solution to the mess that we're in, creating a new way to save the planet so we can get back to our regular habits.
But here's the issue, and it's quite severe. We need everyone in, or the result is clear.
The virus will loiter outside your home, try to steal your breath, infect your dough.
But if everyone is keen to go and get
Hey, we look alike. Nice.
the vax, you're gonna be safe in the face of virus attacks.
Defend ourselves from known mutations, party sensations across the nation.
Vaccination, vaccination,
Vaccination, vaccination. That is good music. That is not cringy. That music video is exhilarating. You want to see some bad music? Some medical disinformation? Some right-wing propaganda? Check this out. Now, if you're listening with kids, I recommend you take them out of the room because this is not suitable for all ages.
I don't have it. Because I never got it. Because I don't want it. Because I don't trust you. Yet you still insist I need a proof of vaccination to exist. And so the lies persist, but some of us can tell, and you bet we will resist. I hope you know it's plain to see the pseudoscience you misuse on the TV, and all the power you abuse that keep the people confused and afraid. How is this still going on? This farce been going for way too long. If you ain't blind, you can see that this is wrong. And I won't comply. Now me no way, I may be wrong, and after all, I'm just a singer. But I'm not afraid to use my brain and middle finger. So go ahead and do your thing, but I'm not taking anything. These vaccine passports are a crime, and so I sing. Hell no. Am I gonna get it? Hell no. H-E-double-L-N-O.
Hell no.
Hell no. Do I comply? Hell no. H-E-double-L-N-O.
Now that is right-wing propaganda. We got to report him and send him to the gulags. Now, before we end this video, I'd be remiss to report that LaChina James tested positive for the virus. And he tweeted, something's fishy. Because he believes that the NBA is bamboozling him. He doesn't trust the test. Why? Because, well, he doesn't understand that people with the Fauci ouchie can still get and transmit the virus. So that's LaChina James for ya. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Big Brother, for letting me stay alive. Thank you, Big Government, for all the rights and freedoms you provide for me. But most importantly, for keeping me safe. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Share this with your friends. They need to know how lucky we are to live in the technocracy that we do. Thank you, Big Brother. Thank you, Joe Biden. And thank you, Anthony Fauci. I love you.